No animals fascinate like snakes. Terrifying to some, exquisite to others. Elegant and endangered. Born to hunt, yet so vulnerable. Late winter. The snow has grown damp and heavy. Most of the animals have survived the cold months quite well. Soon the white ermine will change its color to brown. South-facing slopes are already nearly bare. Those who succumbed to the cold and snow slowly appear, insects, for example. The snow also reveals other fragile forms. A snake skin discarded last autumn. But where is the snake itself? Where did it disappear to when snow and ice covered the earth? Snakes spend the winter in frost-free cavities in the ground. Their body energy is reduced to a minimum. In this brumation, they can just keep alive. The power of the spring sun changes everything. Until the snakes drowsily abandon their refuge. Its first winter over, a young Aesculapian snake directs its attention to the spring butterflies. They don't count as prey, but they're the first life seen in 6 months. And soon, there's much more to see. More and more snakes also appear with the rising temperatures to sunbathe. The harmless grass snake is the most common snake in Europe. It's recognized by the 2 yellow markings on the back of its head. After its winter rest, it's not just looking for warmth. Sometimes spring sees the phenomenon of mass mating, when 50 or more gather. They'll spend the rest of the year alone. Spring is also the time to encounter the slow worm. It looks like a snake, but only at first glance. It has eyelids, and that makes it a lizard. Snake eyes, by contrast, are lidless and covered by a transparent scale. That's what gives them the snake-like stare. So if it blinks, it's not a snake. A subtle but important difference. Even today, there's a great deal of ignorance about snakes. Their permanently darting tongues are not a sign of aggression. It's their way of smelling. Odor molecules are drawn from the air and evaluated by a special organ in the roof of the mouth. Their darting tongues lead them to their prey. It even works underwater. The growing intensity of the spring sun quickly warms the upper levels of the lake. The swimming season has started for the grass snake. A grass snake can grow to nearly 2 meters, moving with extreme elegance in the liquid element. The search for amphibian prey may mean swimming hundreds of meters. No shortage of frogs and toads in the tangled vegetation along the shore. Toads are perfect-sized prey, but this one has a bright signal color. Toads and grass snakes don't exactly live in harmony. But the snake is indecisive. It may look like the toad is giving up, but in fact it's displaying its warning colors. To the grass snake, that means, I'm inedible, move on. And when the snake is out of range, the toad takes off too. Another predator is in and out of the water, a European otter. It eats fish, crabs, mussels, amphibians, and snakes. Otters are superb divers. A gently gliding grass snake has no chance. The snake has no defense. The scent gland meant to frighten off smaller attackers only seems to make the otter's meal more tasty. It devours it whole. Every little piece. Snakes have conquered nearly every habitat in Europe. One climbs to great heights. Spotted in treetops at 20 meters or more, the Aesculapian snake. It's not poisonous and a true survival specialist. Its greatest skill is climbing trees. As if gravity didn't exist, it glides higher and higher in a vertical line by jamming the edge of its belly scales into any irregularity. And snaking its way continuously up the trunk. At dizzying heights, it seeks out an undisturbed place in the sun. The northernmost habitat of the Aesculapian snake takes in southern Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Austria. At over 2 meters, it's one of the largest snakes in Europe, and it's harmless to humans. About 2,000 years ago, the species was given a boost by the Roman city of Carnuntum near Vienna, when more Aesculapian snakes were brought from the Mediterranean and released in Carnuntum. The snake was welcome for religious reasons. It was dedicated to the Roman god Aesculapius and was itself considered divine. Even today, it symbolizes the healing arts for physicians and pharmacists. But the Romans didn't just bring the Aesculapian to Austria. They also brought domestic rats that hadn't been known here until then. Proximity to humans gave them refuge and plenty of food, and they multiplied rapidly. Aesculapian snakes almost became domesticated thanks to the permanent offering of rats. In Roman times, the Aesculapian was highly appreciated as a pest controller. Some things change over time. 2,000 years later, Aesculapian snakes are still seen in gardens in Vienna and Lower Austria. These gardens are rarely full of mice or rats. But another potential prey, birds and their young, are often found in larger numbers here than in forests or meadows. The goldfinch is possible prey for an Aesculapian snake. But this climbing snake is drawn by a different odor trail, a tit box. If it's occupied, that's the end of the brood. If not, it'll be a good overnight shelter. Where there are no nestlings, an Aesculapian snake will also be satisfied with a clutch of eggs. Its lower jaw is so flexible that it can swallow the eggs whole. Some species of snake can be found in large numbers at the end of a spring in piles of leaves and vegetation. In such exposed areas, they're not seeking food, but suitable locations for their offspring. Three Central European snake species don't give birth to live young. They lay eggs in decomposing vegetation. Snake eggs don't have hard shells like birds' eggs. Their surfaces appear leathery and have indentations. Female grass snakes lay 10 to 50 eggs. Snakes don't brood the eggs themselves. The heat of rotting vegetation does it for them. Central European landscapes reach from the lowlands to the highlands. One species of snake has adapted to the higher climes. It's found in the foothills of the Alps between 1,000 and 2,000 meters. It loves the harsh mountain climate. A snake wreathed in myth and legend. The adder, or common viper. A contemporary of the mammoth that has survived to the present day. The vertical pupil of the viper family is its most distinctive feature, and vipers are poisonous. On the back of the head, there's often a V or X shape, and a dark zigzag ribbon along its back. The females are mostly brown to copper-colored, while the males are more of a grey colour. But even among hundreds of animals, no two share exactly the same colouring. Their tail always ends in a short tip. In the cool alpine climate, mating often first takes place in May. The smaller males besiege the females and perform mating dances. The whole process can take several hours. For centuries, there have been stubborn rumors that a highly dangerous poisonous snake lives in remote mountain regions. Immediately recognizable for everyone, it's black as midnight. The black common viper. They exist, but they're neither a separate species nor especially dangerous. They are completely black common vipers that every now and then appear. In effect, the opposite of an albino. And like every common viper, appetite for mice. Two hollow teeth, like injecting needles, are located in the upper jaw. They're supplied by poison glands in the head. The poison targets the vascular system. The mouse dies within minutes. Only then will the snake claim its prey. Common vipers rarely grow longer than 60 to 70 centimeters. They can become angry if they're approached too closely and feel threatened. Deer leave the mountain forests to graze in green pastures. The preferred sunbathing area of the common viper. Snakes have neither an outer ear nor an eardrum and therefore hear poorly. Their inner ear is sensitive to the vibrations caused by larger mammals. A snake's first instinct is to flee. But when a common viper feels crowded, and the unsuspecting deer continues to advance, a step too far can lead to doom. A defensive bite injects less poison than a hunting attack, but this is a young deer. After just an hour, it loses its balance, and it crashes to the ground. The poison has caused internal bleeding and damaged critical organs. In some cases, a viper's bite can result in death. But no human has died from the bite of a common viper since the 1960s. Hedgehogs make their home in many different habitats, including those shared with common vipers. As well as alpine uplands, common vipers also like hilly moorland. They've adapted to the damper climate over millennia. When a common viper encounters a hedgehog, the snake doesn't stand a chance. Hedgehogs are passionate insectivores, but they won't sniff at a poisonous snake. Their spines are perfect protection. It's only a matter of time before the exhausted common viper loses the life or death struggle. The boggy cotton grass meadows hide a doppelganger of the common viper, the harmless smooth snake. A closer look reveals the difference. While common vipers have vertical pupils, a smooth snake's pupils are always round. It may not be poisonous, but it is unusual. Smooth snakes hunt lizards and other snakes. If it meets a common viper, the viper's life is in danger. But this one's too big. The smooth snake stops. It coils round its victim to strangle it. The mini anaconda only lets go when it's suffocated the lizard. And it can drag it away.